So the first thing that happens in a hypnotherapy session is that I will have a really thorough chat with you about what it is that you want to achieve. So what you want to achieve initially from that session, but also throughout the time that we work together. And we will have had an initial chat over the phone when you first contacted me about the issue or the problem and what it is that you'd like to deal with. And so when I meet up with you, I'll just like to know kind of whether that's still the case and whether you've actually noticed any changes since we had our conversation over the phone. Because, sometimes I see with clients that once they've realised that they want to deal with the problem or an issue or an old experience, that they already start to feel ever so slightly different about that time or that moment. And that's generally because they're now feeling really ready to deal with it and to move on with their lives. So we'll chat about the goals. I'll just generally like to learn a little bit more about you. So, tell me about your daily life. Tell me about the things that make you really happy. If you're not feeling in such a good place and you are feeling a bit unbalanced, where are you at now? But actually, where do you want to be? And how can you see yourself getting there? And sometimes that can be hard when we're not feeling our strongest version of ourselves. So there'll be things that I'll be able to talk to you about just to kind of give you perhaps a different perspective. But whatever happens, I'm going to be there and I'm going to meet you at the place that you're at right now. I'm not going to try and push you forward before you feel ready. It's all about just us totally understanding where you are and then helping facilitate those steps to make you just feel that little bit stronger, that bit more balanced, and just feeling like, you're regaining that zest for life or whatever it is that you really desire. So when we talk, I'll ask you quite a lot of questions. As a solution-focused therapist, that's really, really important for me because I want to understand, what is the solution to this? How do you see yourself when you kind of have met your goal? What is that going to look like for you? So what are you going to look like? What are you going to feel like? Are you going to change what you wear? Are you going to change your morning routine? So, if you're feeling happier, if you're feeling healthier, if you feel more energized because you don't have the problem anymore, what's the difference? So, what time are you going to get out of bed? Is that going to change? And what are you going to eat for breakfast? How are you going to get to work? Because that might change. You might have always got the bus, but perhaps now with that bit more energy, feeling healthier, perhaps you'll cycle. It's all of those little things, and it's just around visualizing what that's going to feel like and really starting to build up this picture of how much better life's going to be. So I'll be asking you lots and lots of questions. And I'll also be really interested to know how throughout your day and throughout the week and the months and the years, as things get better progressively, how is that going to make you feel? So at each point of the day you're dealing with, life's challenges. Emotionally, what are you going to be feeling? What are your thoughts going to be now that you've done the change, now that you've dealt with the problem? What is this new you going to look like? And also, how are other people in your life going to know that you've changed? What are they going to sense and what are they going to see? And also, I'm there to help you recognise the strengths that you do have and the skills that you have. So I believe, again, as a solution-focused therapist, that all of us are born with and have created through life skills and resources. So for me, sometimes it's just about helping kind of shine that light on actually everything that you do have and how you can use that to your advantage. So, for example, you might be feeling really nervous about up-and-coming interviews. Maybe that's the problem, that anxiety, that nerve about having to really present yourself and all of your best qualities in front of a potential employer, but feeling really nervous about that and discovering that as you've got older, it's got worse. I'll try and find out from you, well, what are you doing when you feel really confident about yourself? When is it that you just completely go with the flow? When do you have a conversation with someone where you don't even have to think about what you're saying? Where you just know that your whole body language is relaxed and the words are flowing. You feel like you're presenting yourself really well. I guarantee there'll be a time when you feel really confident in what you're saying. And that could just potentially be with friends or with family. But all of these skills are transferable. And as a solution-focused therapist and hypnotherapist, that's what I can help you do. I can help you transfer these positive ways of thinking about experiences and transfer them into the parts of your life where you feel like you need a little bit more help. So, that area of your life where you do feel really confident with speaking and presenting yourself, well, let's just transfer that across to the time when you want to go to an interview and you want to feel confident. And that might sound really, really simple, but that's really the crux of it. That's what we do as hypnotherapists, is we help you to create new ways of thinking and new neural pathways in the brain, creating a new way of learning through hypnosis. So once the solution-focused part of the session is done, so once we've had a really, really thorough conversation, that's when you get to relax. And hypnosis is really gentle. It's not only a gentle therapy, but it's actually really energizing because you're getting a real kind of break. And although you're not asleep, it's a time for your body just to kind of top up all of its reserves and just be really nourished by that relaxing breath that you'll be doing throughout that part of the session. So people relax in different ways, and I'll be finding out from yourself how you do relax best. So the kind of activities you might be doing when you are relaxing, and just kind of imagining, visualizing how that feels when you just drift off, perhaps when you just drift off to sleep, or maybe you're on that gorgeous beach and you're just just drifting off to the sounds of the waves, or perhaps it'll be a body scan. So just focusing on each part of the body and how it feels while focusing on your breath. And the really important thing about getting into trance is that you just do have that really focused attention state. So that's all hypnosis really is, very similar to meditation. You're just focusing on one particular thing, whether it's the breath or just visualizing something that's going to help you relax. That's just going to narrow your attention. And once you've got that focused state of attention, that's when the REM state happens, and that is the optimal learning state. So that's the same state that as young children we're in most of the time, and that's how we learn and remember ways of being and experiencing day-to-day life. So you'll just be relaxing there in hypnosis. You'll generally be sitting in a chair and not lying down. And you can just drift away. So you might start to kind of slightly slump in your chair, or some people just are still up absolutely straight. There is no one way of kind of being hypnotized, or no one acts in the same way when they're under hypnosis. They just generally look incredibly peaceful and really, really relaxed. And so then what will happen from there is that I have different sets of techniques that I will use within the hypnotic induction, but all completely based around what it is that you're trying to achieve. So different techniques will help you to do different things and create those new neural pathways, just that rewiring in the mind that will then help you achieve what you want to do. And what's really important for you to know, I think, is that everything that I'm saying to you is based around what exactly it is that you've told me and what you want. So all of that kind of questioning and understanding around how you're going to feel when, the problem is kind of, it's gone, you're completely free of it and you're enjoying life. That's what I'm going to be sharing back to you there in hypnosis. And the reason why that's important to know is because if a hypnotherapist was to say something to you that was completely out of line with what you wanted, then that conflict, that would raise you ever so slightly out of trance, which means that it wouldn't kind of embed in the mind as you would want. So I think that's really important to know that, everything you've told me, that's now just going to be embedded within the mind through the hypnosis. I don't use scripts or anything like that. I freestyle based on exactly what you've told me. So it's very much kind of a real kind of partnership between us. And then once we've gone through the hypnotic induction, that could take anything between kind of half an hour, 45 minutes. It really just depends on what we're working on. I'll then ask you to gently come back to the room. So I might count you back up, kind of from 5 to 1, or just help you to become more aware of what's going on. So whether it's kind of the light or the sounds around you, just really gently bringing you back up. And again, people experience different things when they come out of trance. They might think, oh gosh, I feel like I was only under for, 5 minutes. Some might feel a little bit sleepy, but most just feel incredibly relaxed, and just they look brighter, like eyes look brighter, the shoulders have really kind of sunk down. You can just really tell the difference. And so then I always encourage you just to drink lots of water, eat really nourishing food, and just be excited about the changes that you're going to experience, because we've just done work on an unconscious level. Everything, like 95% of our behaviour, is all based on the unconscious mind. So even though we think that we are thinking our actions and behaviour, it's all finely tuned in our unconscious mind, and hypnosis works on an unconscious level. So it's incredibly powerful. And so once, you've had the session and you've come to, and you go off, on your daily business, you can just be really excited to understand and just start seeing the changes that are happening, and how you are feeling differently based on the work that we've done together.